Hi folks, I'm Tristan with StrikeLines.com. We're going to take a look at the Florida East Coast beaches chart. This chart can be tough because resolution varies depending on your area. So for instance, if you're down in the West Palm or Miami area, your high resolution data is going to go much further offshore than if you're up in the Jacksonville or St. Augustine area. We'll start in the south, down by the Keys. So as you can tell, down by Key Largo, the data is pretty good for the nearshore stuff. It's not great. As you move further north, it improves. This stuff near the beach is just really nice. Offshore, once you start to get up to by the Ragged Keys, you've got really nice data going out more or less from the beach all the way out there. So from the Miami beach, if we use Google Earth's measure function, we're looking at high resolution data more or less 22 miles out. Now there are some patches, as you can tell, where the data is going to be lower resolution, and that's just because higher resolution data doesn't exist there. So really nice data in this area, nice data in this strip, nice data here, okay data here, and then beautiful data way offshore there at about 20 miles. As we move north, you can see that there's strips of nice high resolution data, strips of low res. Here off Hollywood, you've got some really pretty data that goes out roughly 3.5 miles. So that should get you into, I believe, about 600 feet of water. Now this stuff along the beach, it's really, really high resolution. So if you're looking at doing some free diving for lobster or something like that, this chart is really ideal for it. If you're wanting to get into a little bit deeper water, say from 100 feet to 500 feet, it's really going to depend on where you are. That'll determine whether or not this chart is useful for you. So as we move north, we've still got nice strips of high resolution data offshore, off of Fort Lauderdale. From that pass, the initial high resolution data goes out about 3 miles. So one of the neat features of Google Earth is we can use the NOAA charts to determine depth and other things. So I'm going to move this pin. We'll leave it right there just as is. I'm going to enable the NOAA charts, disable the 3D chart, and so we're showing that's in right about, I don't know, maybe 550 feet of water. So if you're coming out of Fort Lauderdale, that's really nice depth and high resolution data there. Disable the NOAA charts. Our instructions that come with the Google Earth versions of these 3D charts do tell you how to load up those NOAA chart files so that you can do that as well. They'll also tell you how to measure the distance and drop a pin and that stuff. So again, there is high resolution data further out. So if we take a look, that patch starts at roughly 16 miles. This stuff starts at about 11.3 miles. This stuff 9.5, and you see that strip there, which is about 5.5 miles. So as we move further north from Fort Lauderdale, you can see again really pretty data in close. We'll measure that by Lighthouse Point, going about 1.4 miles out with that initial high resolution data. About the same here, I believe. Yeah. Again, you still have those strips further out with nice data. move up to Delray. So off Ocean Ridge, Boynton area, you can see that the initial high-resolution data goes out to just under a mile. If you're looking at this data as well, you're at about 1.3 miles. And of course, the strips further out. So as we get up to the West Palm area, there's some really pretty data up here. If you look going out that Palm Beach Pass, so roughly about 3 miles, and then data does go further than that. Let's see if we can get a little better view. So that's the cutoff of the high resolution data there. So 4.3 miles. You can see these ledge systems. Really, really neat stuff. Some nice wrecks in there. Great diving, great fishing opportunities, interesting stuff. Looks like maybe an artificial reef or something like that. And of course, more wrecks that you see as well. Neat in there. Really pretty data. Of course, keep in mind you do have offshore data as well. So that's going to run out, roughly 16, 15 miles. This strip's going to be at about 8.5 miles. Then we move further north. Juneau, again, nice data offshore. Beautiful ledge system. Nice stuff in here. Again, the nearshore data is going to be the highest resolution. This is a little bit lower resolution, but still all you need to find these nice ledges and other features. Got some cool stuff off the beach there. So as we move north from Juneau, there's Jupiter. Really high resolution data out to just over 5 miles. Again, you're going to have more data offshore here as well. Give you an idea of that offshore stuff. So north of Jupiter, the quality of the data drops off after, that might be 30 feet in depth or so. But you can tell there's the high resolution stuff along the beach here, and then as you move out, there's low res stuff. Some higher resolution offshore there. Again, you can still see the high resolution stuff over here by Stewart along the beach. But once you get more than, how far out is that? Maybe a mile or so off the beach, that data there just is not available in high resolution. So the quality will decrease. As we move further north, we can see that this trend continues along the beach, high resolution data, lower resolution offshore. Indian River shores. Now, you can see that in patches, there is some higher resolution data off the beach, while along the beach here, the data is not good. This is the cutoff between the north and south for the Google Earth version. The mobile version's broken into 3 parts. The Simrad Lowrance version is all one. And that's just because the file size is so huge. You can see patchy high resolution data there along the beach. As we move up towards Melbourne, the data starts to improve a little along the beach. And then there by Satellite Beach, there's almost nothing along the beach. So off of Cape Canaveral, we have patchy high-resolution data. You can see it here, also here. So it's not great, but you can make out some details that are useful. The highest resolution is going to be around the pass and the channel there. Of course, in the bight, there's good data. You can also see that we've got a strip of nice data offshore of Cape Canaveral. Really pretty ledge system, promises some good fishing. So if we measure that, we can see that's roughly 20 miles or so offshore. More high-resolution data along the beach as we move north. High-resolution strip offshore. More high-resolution data offshore. Pretty decent data along the beach there. More patchy, high-resolution data offshore, here, there. And the reason that there isn't more high-resolution data is that it just hasn't been scanned up here. Nobody's done that sonar work. We'd love to get a boat over there this summer to do some more scanning. We'll see if it happens. Some interesting high-resolution data around the pass of St. Augustine. Keep in mind that currents can change this quite quickly, so it may not look the same. Never rely on our fishing and diving charts for navigation. Nice data offshore. So from the St. Augustine Pass, looking at maybe 22 miles. A lot of sand waves. Doesn't seem to be much in the way of structure, or hard bottom rather. Again, more high resolution patches off of Atlanta Beach, Jacksonville area. A little bit of good stuff here near shore, and up here as well you can see. Nice ledge system, looks like. Same here, some nice hard bottom ledges. As we continue moving north, you see more patches of high resolution data here. We're getting into Georgia. And that's the end of the Florida beaches chart. As always, if you have any questions or if you want to send us over some coordinates to see specific screenshots of your area, please don't hesitate. You can send them to info@strikelines.com. You can just give us a call. The number's on our website, or reach us over Facebook or Instagram. Thanks.